All right, hi everyone. My name is Matthew Kress of Kress Dietetics, and today I wanted to show you how I make my personal anti-gas / anti-bloating type of tincture that I use casually in my kitchen as someone that has previously dealt with gas, and I wanted to show something that really works for me and maybe it can work for you as well. So, to get started, what is a tincture? A tincture is a set of medicinal plants. So right here I have fennel seeds and I have ginger. These are the two main plants that have the plant medicinal compounds that I'm interested in extracting. I'm going to put these into a jar and I'm going to extract it with vodka. So basically I'm making, if you think of tea, if I replace this with water, it'd be a fennel, ginger, and water, that'd be a tea infusion. Replace the water with vodka or any other high-proof alcohol, and it becomes a tincture. So tinctures are like teas, just applied in a different way, and that can extract more of the alcohol-soluble medicinal plant compounds that usually cannot be extracted through tea. Usually when we talk about applying tinctures in a more nutritional protocol, it's in combination with teas or infusions, but not necessarily all the time, but they are usually nice to go hand in hand when you're working on a specific health problem or you're wanting to amplify something within the body. So my method and technique can be applied. This is going to be a base recipe, so this method can be applied to a bunch of other types of plants. You don't need to have these specific plants to do a certain type of a tincture. And you can see I also have mint that I'm going to use. Really, the world is your oyster. You can do a ton of different combinations of plants to help with whatever type of goal you are aiming towards. So what are the materials you're going to need? You're going to need your medicinal plants. You're going to need enough of a high-proof alcohol. You're going to need a glass jar. My glass jar that I'm going to be infusing this in, it does have a metal lid, and there's a little bit of corrosion on this. So I'm going to put some plastic wrap over the top of this just to make sure that there's no metal corrosion that's going into my vodka. So that, keep in mind, especially if you're going to use another glass jar that does have a metal lid, you do want to be mindful of that. And then I also have a muddler, so like when you would use for alcohol, so it helps infuse, it can speed up the infusion process. And I also have a micro scale. This is not needed. This is for those that are professionals. You can absolutely just throw all of this in here and pour it in and you'd be done. You'd let it sit for 4 to 6 weeks and that'd be it. That's it. So you may be wondering, how do I know which plants to use? There's a million resources online that you can use. Just type in what you're trying to resolve plus medicinal plants and Google will spit out anything for you. I personally am developing a tincture ebook, and this is the one that I'm using right here. And this is my personal approach. If you like it, feel free to screenshot this. If not, please just use Google. Do your own research. It's out there. The available information is there. So keep that in mind, and this is what I'm doing. All right, so got my micro scale out, and I'm going to weigh this. I have about 60 grams of fennel seeds, and usually you want to do equal parts fennel to equal parts ginger for an anti-gas / anti-bloating type of protocol. And then we can make this go farther with other plants such as mint. Mint is going to, so these mint leaves, these are going to weigh nothing. There's going to be like a few grams here, whereas this is actually going to weigh something. Because I really enjoy ginger and I really like fennel, these are going to be the two main ones, and it is a great coincidence because this is the type of protocol that I am aiming for. Now, how do I determine how much vodka or a high-proof alcohol that I want to use? So when I am using a very dense, so a dried type of plant material such as fennel seeds, these are going to require 5 times as much vodka or high-proof alcohol as the dried seeds. This goes the same for any other thing that is technically dried or that is more dense. If I have, for example, like cinnamon bark, or if I have something like a caraway seed, these are small, dense, heavy things, and they're going to infuse a lot of flavor into a lot of alcohol. If I were to put a small amount, if I were to put this amount of vodka, there would be more flavor, more plant compounds that could be extracted. So I could use 5 times that amount in my fennel seeds to create a well-infused And so I'm using up all of my fennel seeds in my infusion. So technically 5 times as much. Next, same thing for ginger. Ginger is a root that has very high potency and that has a fantastic infusion capabilities. I can also use the same 5 times the amount of vodka principle as I did with my fennel seeds. My mint is going to be a little bit more floral. It's going to be a little bit more delicate. And so I would not need to use as much vodka for my delicate flowers / leaves. And so you could use 2 times the amount. And so these are the types of ratios you want to keep in mind. But because the main aspect of my tincture is going to be my fennel seeds and my ginger, I'm going to use the 5 times ratio because that is the main aspect that I'm going for. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the mint here to help round out my flavor because fennel is a strong flavor and ginger is a strong flavor, and the mint is just going to make this a nice, enjoyable thing so that when I'm taking my tincture, I'm liking it. You know, I don't want it to be this like, ugh, awful, hard to swallow, you know, medicinal thing that please don't. Like, I want to have it be something that I enjoy, and I love mint. You know, I do like these flavors, but they are strong. And so it's going to help round out whatever it is that I'm doing. So for my ginger, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to very easily just like chop it up into little pieces. And in the skins are going to have some helpful compounds in there as well. It's a great thing to use medicinally. And I'm not technically going to be eating it, even though, you know, I actually will eat it. I'm not afraid of it. The only thing you want to pay attention to is just make sure that you cut off any bum ends. You want to, you know, if there's any like mold or dried areas that are looking not very good, you just want to chop those off so you're not infusing that into your supposed to be helpful tincture. Now, while I chop this up, I'm not going to be so uptight about this. This is going to sit for a while, so I don't necessarily need to make these like minuscule blender-esque small fine chop pieces. This like small bit right here, this is even really small. I could just like throw these little bits and pieces in. Just chop it up. It's not a big deal. People try to make a big deal. Well, people try to overthink things. You don't need to overthink this. Just open it up so there's enough surface area. I'm shaving off these little dry bits right here. And then I'm going to open it up so that there's, you know, more surface area. But in any case, you know, this little knob right here, perfect. Perfect and easy, and it's going to make for a great tincture. And I'm just trying to make this as doable as possible without, you know, spending 30 minutes chopping up ginger, because I don't want to do that. All right, so let's just weigh out the amount of ginger that I have. So that's about 36. I'm aiming for 60 grams, 50, 60, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna use my extra ginger just in like cooking and like making like a nighttime ginger tea infusion. It's all good, guys. I'm here to have fun and I'm here to be helpful. This is just what I'm doing. Here is my ginger. So we'll say about half ginger, half fennel volume-wise, maybe a little bit more fennel seeds. And now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to top this off and round it out with my mint leaves. Now I keep my mint leaves in the refrigerator with a plastic bag over them, a little bit of water. I bought these about like a week or 2 ago and they still look great. So a quick tip if you need one for keeping your mint good. So I'm just going to strip my mint leaves off of my stems, and I'm just going to add it into my tincture and use my eyes and let my ancestors tell me when that looks good and stop there. All right, so let's just strip these leaves off, and I'm just going to use my gut to tell me when I am done, and I'm just going to add it little by little. And I've already got a pretty good volume here, and this is going to fill up the jar really nicely. And I do want to make sure that everything that I have does stay submerged. So we will also go over that maybe a little bit later in the video. But, you know, I just want to add enough to kind of round out the flavor of my tincture that I'm making. All right, so now let's just add this in. And it looks like my jar I might actually need a bigger jar now that I'm thinking about it, because when I add this all together and I weigh out the amount of vodka that I'm going to need, it might go past this top edge, and I don't want that. I do want to have a little bit of headspace. Okay, so 60 grams and 60 grams is 120 grams of fennel and ginger, times 5 is 600, and so I'm going to need 600 grams slash milliliters of vodka. So 600 is really close to 500. See, you can be scientific about it, but know when to throw out those precise details also. 500 is half a liter, which is about 2 cups or a pint. So let's see, and this is about a liter, so I'm gonna pour half of this in. And then we're just going to use our eyes to see how much this fills up here. And if I'm too far up, I will switch to a larger jar. So here's half a liter. Oh no, my thing is 70 centiliters. Okay, so then just pour it in. Oh yeah, this might work. This will work. Oh wait, that was perfect. My vodka line is right here, so it's right before the screw stuff here. Guys, perfect. 500, perfect. No more, no less. I'm good. Now, because I did not use the 600 actual milliliters of vodka and I only used 500, what does that mean? That means that maybe I'm not going to extract all of the plant compounds left in my fennel, ginger, and mint, but whatever, you know, once this is done infusing, I will be able to take all of these ingredients and I can boil it and I can make a nice strong tea out of it. I can freeze it, I can do more stuff with it. So this is just something that's kind of quote unquote step 1 of extracting all of the helpful compounds out of the plants that I'm using to help with gas, bloating, belching, and flatulence, you know, etc. So this is just the first phase of how I'm using these plants. I'm just going to screw this down. Because it's the first time, I'm not worried about metal stuff. Let's just do one of these real quick. Okay, this smells like straight up vodka. And of course, completely normal. So now, I'm just going to let this guy infuse for as long as I like. So because fennel seeds are so hard, but they do pack a powerful punch when you do season with them, this is going to take slightly longer to infuse, which is to be expected. If I were doing only, for example, like mint, some chamomile, or some like delicate flower things, that could take like a few days to infuse. But because I have like a hard product here, you know, this, vanilla, or so fennel, vanilla, cinnamon, anything that's like hard in nature, it's gonna take longer to extract. Or if not, I could have gotten like a mortar and pestle and just kind of grind it up and done that to help speed up the process. But I'm not in a hurry. This stuff is going to be good anyway, and I'm looking forward to this. And also, this is really aesthetically pleasing for me. So, hey, I'm trying to enjoy myself. So now what's next? I'm going to add plastic wrap on top, and I'm just going to then screw this on, and I will shake it daily. All right, I have my plastic on top. I'm going to screw this down, and I hope that and I'll double check to make sure the plastic is not coming undone, as in like it's not ripping, but I'm just going to shake this up. Now, I know I said that I'm going to shake this daily. Guys, I'm human, I forgot about it. Maybe sometimes I'll shake it once a week. It's perfectly fine, as long as when you're done in 4-6 weeks, you open it up and you taste the vodka that's been infused. If you're getting that flavor, you've done a good job. So I will shake this. I'll try to think about it daily. What I usually do is I just put it like in my bathroom, and like every morning and every night after or before I brush my teeth, I'll just like give this guy like one of these kinds of things. If I go away for the weekend, or if I'm not here, or if literally I just forget, it's fine. It's just plants in a bottle of vodka, or in a jar of vodka. Nothing's going to happen to it. The environment in itself is sterile. It's literally in vodka. So nothing to worry about. Honestly, I could let this sit for longer and not shake it, and it would also be perfectly fine. You do not need to shake this. You know when it's done by when you open this up and you take a small spoonful. Do I have a small spoon? No. When you open this up, you take a small spoonful and you taste it, and it tastes like more than just vodka. If it tastes like vodka, it's not done infusing. But if it has that good flavor that you would expect from fennel, ginger, and mint, then you've done a good job, and your tincture is probably done, and it will be effective. As always, label everything you do. I have my little label maker, and so I will put in the date and the plant and the purpose of my tincture. So I'll probably say anti-bloating tincture, fennel, ginger, mint, date. There is my little label. This is what a shake looks like, just for those who are interested. Nothing complicated. All right, so now let's talk about taking and using a tincture therapeutically for a nutrition protocol or any other kind of like health protocol. I'm using mine for like anti-gas bloating, but you can also do one for like men's health, like more gym activity. You can use it for like respiration. You can use it for like women's health. You can use it for skin conditions. You can use it for anything. If a plant is known to help in that specific health area, you can put it in a tincture. All right, so once again, my name is Matthew Kress of Kress Dietetics. Thank you for watching my how to make a tincture, specifically an anti-bloating, anti-gas tincture video. If you have questions or comments, please ask in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. If you would like, please stay tuned for my tincture ebook. I hope to get that out soon. You can find me at kressdietetics.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.